Being homeless, being without a place to live, being unhoused is a state of crisis.
You see them every day, the unsheltered homeless in Cleveland.
I never would have thought that I'd be homeless.
Doctors told me if I hadn't gotten her in when I did, if she'd fallen asleep that night, she would have woken up.
But do you really know their stories?
That man could be a chef, or that woman could have been a chef. And you not knowing because you're judging their outside.
TV 20 brings you Sheltering Hope, the real stories of formerly unhoused individuals with a fresh start.
We want to get to everyone. That's our goal, is that we want a home for every person that is experiencing unsheltered homelessness, and that's what we're going to try to do.
No matter the season, no matter the weather, the streets are home for countless people. They live, eat, take care of their most personal needs, and sleep on our city's streets. Who are they? How did they end up here? How do they survive? And what is being done to bring about change and get them housed? Hello, I'm Eleanor Hayes. These are the stories of our unsheltered homeless and the city of Cleveland's hope to change their lives, one home at a time.
Are you looking to have a fun and exciting summer while making money at the same time? The City of Cleveland is looking for lifeguards to oversee our 42 pools across the city. And guess what? We will train you. Here's what you need to know. To be a lifeguard in the City of Cleveland, you must be 15 years of age, be able to swim 300 yards nonstop using front crawl and breaststroke, swim to the deepest end of the pool and retrieve a 10-pound object and return to the starting point on your back. Tread water for 2 minutes using legs only. Pass a written test 80% or better. For more information or to sign up to be a lifeguard, call your nearest rec center today.
Cleveland and a great day in Cuyahoga County. I want to just begin today's event by talking about why this effort is so important to me as mayor of this great community, and why this effort is an amazing symbol of what working together as a community we can do as a collective. Just yesterday, many folks in this room were at one of our largest encampment sites on Scranton Road near Duck Island. And that encampment site had been in our city for over 2 decades. And we had over 100 residents from across the city. The fire department was there, the police department was there, many members of my administration were there. We were all doing the hard work of cleaning that encampment. And across this entire effort, Many community members and grassroots organizations and activists have really helped us meet the moment in terms of our Home for Every Neighbor initiative. So this morning, I'm proud to announce that because of this city-led effort, we have officially housed 154 unsheltered neighbors in our city across nearly 50 sites in 13 wards in the great city of Cleveland, Ohio. And we all know the challenges that brought us here. As we saw coming out of the pandemic, we continue to see a rise in housing insecurity in our city and across the county. We continue to see a rise in mental health issues and challenges. We also continue to see challenges around drug abuse and alcohol abuse. And, historically, sometimes the government has gotten in the way. Sometimes red tape and bureaucracy has gotten in the way. But through this approach, we've deployed a housing-first approach, making sure we have the right wraparound services around our unsheltered neighbors to give them that hope, to give them that opportunity. And, for me, this is personal. But for the grace of God and my late grandma, Sarah, having a duplex on Dove, when my mama had hard times, when we faced eviction, when she got laid off, we always had a place to go to. We always had a place to go to. But unfortunately, for far too many of our residents, that has not been the case. So I'm just so thrilled that so many of us in this room have worked very hard to make today possible. It certainly takes a village, and I want to just spend just a few moments thanking all the amazing partners who allowed us to make today possible. First, I want to thank the county executive and his administration for being here. Thank you so much, David and Matt, for being here. Let's give them a round of applause if we can. The county has been a great partner in this work, and we know we have a lot more work to do with the county to ensure we can get to functional zero homelessness across the city and across the county. I want to thank our teams at City Hall, our Public Works Department, the Department of Community Development, and our public health teams. Let's give them a round of applause if we can. One of my former colleagues, Emily Collins, who's no longer with us, she helped lead this effort when we first started this effort last year. And Liam has also taken the baton to help lead the effort. So again, thank you, Liam, and thank you to Emily Collins for your hard work. And then just an amazing group of amazing nonprofits in this city who made today possible. Frontline, the Westside Catholic Center, Clutch Consulting Group, Downtown Cleveland Inc., the Cleveland Mediation Center, Safe Spaces, NEOC, the Northeast Ohio Coalition for the Homeless, and I'm in Ministry. Let's give all these great partners a big round of applause today. Now, I'm going to steal Deacon Lou's thunder, but rumor has it his organization, this amazing group, helped us put together nearly 2,000 pieces of furniture for our unsheltered neighbors. Just amazing work by amazing group of grassroots organizations. And today would not have been possible without our great partnership with City Council, led by the Council President, Blaine Griffin, and Councilwoman Stephanie House-Jones. We have an amazing, we can clap for Councilwoman House-Jones. Councilwoman House-Jones is a fierce advocate for our unsheltered brothers and sisters. She's a fierce advocate to making sure that we hold ourselves accountable at City Hall to do the people's work every day, and I'm happy to bring her to the dais. Councilwoman.
Well, good morning, beautiful people. How's everybody doing? Good. Today is absolutely a beautiful day, a great day. The sun is shining because, I don't know what this Cleveland weather is doing, but it really is a thing, I will say as, you hear about what's going on about people that are dealing with being unhoused, right? And you hear about it, but it wasn't until I really became the councilwoman here in Ward 7, where, you know, we have our shelters, both the men's shelter, the women's shelter, and you get up close and personal, right? In a way that, I mean, it really helped to enlighten me. And I have gotten into a lot of testy debates and arguments with people like, we need to do more work. Like, you know, we don't have the luxury to say that, oh, we're going to get to it. We got to wait years and years and years. People need help and relief today. They need it today, right? The more that we allow to ignore or make sure that it's not at our front door, it's just not responsible. And so I'm very appreciative of this partnership, where, you know, my colleagues in Cleveland City Council felt it really to take the action to make the real investment, not just by words, but in real dollars and cents. And to be able to see the yielding results in less than a year, when people tell us what we can't do, this A Home for Every Neighbor initiative has told us what we can do. When we're all working together, when we don't care who gets the credit, we do the work, we can do amazing things on behalf of people, just of our neighbors, and that's what we need. And so as we think about the continuing work that's in front of us, I know that there are a lot of things that are unknown, right? We don't know what's going on at the federal level. We don't know what's going on at the state level. But we do know is there is a real commitment here in our Cleveland community with partnership with county and so many people, all of these beautiful men and women that you see in front of us. There's a commitment here in our community, and so moving forward, we need to continue to stay focused, continue the investment, and I will always bring up, I was sitting yesterday in church, and my minister, he talked about having the connection, care, and contribution, right? I think those are just elements to building community. This is the manifestation of A Home for Every Neighbor. There is a real commitment moving forward, and I'm very just grateful for everyone being here. And now we'll hear a little bit about how this work has come to fruition. I want to pass it on to Liam Haggerty, who is leading this work, being the connecting the dots. So Liam, come on up, and thank you again for your service.
Good morning, everyone. So as Councilwoman said, my name is Liam Haggerty, and I'm the Housing and Outreach Project Manager for the City of Cleveland. And I've had the privilege of leading the Home for Every Neighbor team since we began our work in the summer of 2024. So the best part of this work is move-in day. Whether it was when dozens of folks were moving in on the same day from one of the larger encampments that we worked in the fall, to the more recent work of housing one or two people at a time from smaller sites spread throughout the city of Cleveland. Being there when someone leaves their tent or leaves the doorway where they have been sleeping, and they get their keys, they sign their lease, they walk into their new home, that is by far the highlight of this work. And on so many occasions, I would be there with one of our participants and their outreach worker and their case manager, and they would walk around their new home, taking it all in. They would turn to us and say, thank you for this. And every time my response would be the same. I would simply say, everyone deserves a place to call home. This initiative is remarkable, truly remarkable. And the work that's been done by the partners that are assembled here is remarkable. But the concept at the heart of this program is honestly not remarkable. At least it shouldn't be. At the heart of this program is the idea that I think we all would agree with, that everyone deserves a place to call home. So when we started this program, we had a vision to create the Cleveland model, the Cleveland approach to solving unsheltered homelessness. We would not threaten displacement, and we would not criminalize homelessness. Instead, we would offer housing. As we look across the country, and even across this state, we see other cities and municipalities that are threatening arrest, forcefully displacing those who are unsheltered. But in Cleveland, we are offering housing. And our model is succeeding. And it's doing so in a way that we hope will set the standard across the country. that you can end unsheltered homelessness and do so while honoring the dignity of those who are living unsheltered. Finding a home for every neighbor is done by offering real and accessible housing options to those living on the street. We have housed couples together, friends together. We have provided housing that has allowed parents to reunite with their children. We have housed 154 program participants. We've also housed 28 dogs. And those of you with pets, you know they're a part of your family. They're a part of your household. So for this program to be successful, we needed to be able to provide homes for the entire household of the participant. When someone's living on the streets, that state of active crisis can make it very difficult, if not impossible, to address any additional challenges one might be facing. But conversely, when someone has access to housing, when we as a city acknowledge that everyone has a right to housing, the next pieces of the puzzle can fall into place. And we have seen that with so many of our participants. Housing leads to reconnecting with family, to mending relationships, to addressing physical and mental health needs, to treatment, to workforce development. The list goes on and on. Everyone deserves a place to call home. And I'm so proud of the work we have done to make that vision a reality in Cleveland. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Deacon Lou, our host for today and a vital partner in this effort. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. And on behalf of all of our volunteers and staff at IMA Ministry, we just like to welcome you, and Mayor Bibb, and all of you who are gathered here today. And it's been a privilege to be part of this project. You know, when it's been said many times over the years that a community, the reflection of a community is how well the less fortunate are treated, the people that are forgotten about, the broken, folks who have had difficulties in life. And what I've learned over the years, bad things happen to good people. But this particular program, it sends a clear message. The forgotten are not forgotten. And with this project here, I think that we've changed lives in a very, very significant way. As the mayor said, we've done over 2,000 pieces of furniture, we've done clothing, we've done ancillary things, and so on. And a lot of the furniture came from the IMA Ministry donor base, folks who donate furniture. No strings attached, they just want to be very, very helpful. And the people receive are very thoughtful and gracious and very, very appreciative. As you look around here, about 80% of what you see would have ended up in a landfill. And so what we've been able to do is repurpose this furniture for many, many people. Last year we served over 14,000 people. This year we'll probably do 16,000 people. And for those who know me, they will say, I am full of street stories. I've been at this a long time. And there are certain things that you remember, people you meet, and they touch you in a very, very special way. And sometimes it's the heartache stuff, right? But in this particular program, I was reminded of a situation why we do what we do at IMA Ministry. See, what we do at IMA Ministry, why we do it, we believe we're all children of God. We need to be present to one another so we can learn from one another. And how we go about it, we're non-judgmental. We're respectful. We offer kindness, and we encourage hope every delivery we make. And so here's my street story for this particular project. On a very, very cold Thursday morning, snowing, rain, terrible conditions, my dear friend Dennis Ashton with NEOC transports a woman to the east side. And so it just so happened I was out in the field with the guys that day and our delivery team. And what happened was I went in first while they were unloading the truck. So I walk up, and it's a two-family, I walk upstairs, and I said to the person, I'm Deacon Lou Promozic. She looks at me, she says, can I give you a hug? Sure. And she says to me, this is very surreal. I'm going to have electricity, heat, a bed, a couch, dishes. The things we all take for granted were all very, very special to her. So the guys came in, we lay out the apartment really nice, everything's perfect. All of the furnishings were great, all of the bedding and everything, all brand new. So the guys leave, I'm the last one there. I walked up to her and I said, can I give you a hug back? And with that, unlike I've ever experienced in my life, a burst of tears. She gives me a hug and then says to me, I've been out in the street for 2.5 years. I haven't been hugged or given a hug in years. I wasn't sure who was going to cry more, me or her. But I'll tell you, I will remember that day the rest of my life because it was very, very special. What we do is it's privileged to do what we do. And so I get downstairs, I get in the car, I'm all by myself, and I sat there and I'm thinking, this is why we do what we do at I'm in Ministry. It's for people like her, people like Luke behind me, and it's just a great reminder. It's been a great lesson. See, I learn more from people that we serve than what we actually do. And every time I have this opportunity to learn, it's precious. And so I'm sitting in the car thinking, this is true loneliness. And in addition to doing all the furnishings, I sat in the car and I said a prayer for her. And she's been on my daily prayers every day since I met her, and I'm going to continue to keep her in my thoughts and prayers. And so it's a true privilege. You know, it's very fitting here we are today, beginning a Holy Week for Christians. It's Passover. It's time to be thinking about others versus thinking a little bit less about ourselves. And so, Mayor Bibb, I will commit the resources of I'm in Ministry for Phase 2. We will double our efforts. We'll do 2,000 plus pieces of furniture, and we will continue to stand by you in this program because what we want to make clear is that Cleveland treats the forgotten as if they're not forgotten. And we stand up for people versus run away from people. So we're ready to commit all of our resources here at I'm in Ministry for the next phase of this very important project that I believe changes lives but makes all of us better. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm not much of a public speaker, but I just want to take this time and thank Nyack and everybody else who participated in getting me housing and stuff like that, getting me off the streets. It's a big deal because it's not fun living in the streets, especially when, like he said, in the weather. I hate the cold. Nevertheless, out of 154 people, you guys got one of them to come up here and speak, though. I mean, I just want to take the time because if I didn't have this program, or better yet, even my case manager alone, he does everything for me. If it wasn't for him and all the help he gives me through the company and the program, I'd still be out there. When God knows doing what, where, when, how, and that's still put into question sometimes. And without his help and the help of the program, I'd probably still be stuck, not knowing where I'm going to be. So I was in the streets for about maybe 1.5 years on my own. I grew up in the suburbs. It could happen to anybody, so it's good to know that there's this program to help buffer people out when you need it. So that's pretty much all I got, so thank you guys.
Well, again, thanks so much again for being here. We have cookies and coffee and fruit in the back. And all of our participants and leaders are available for interviews after. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Thanks.